And welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of the Lost Podcast of Titan, a father and son journey through the sci-fi series that unite both of our generations, where we sit and commentate and go on tangents. Sometimes don't even talk about what's on the screen because it could be like the alternative factor, and it is just boring as shit. And we rather talk about Klingon ninjas and Ocean 12 Ferengi heists and other interesting stuff like that. Um, yeah. How y'all folks doing? I'm the son, and this is the papa.
That's right. And I know that you think that I'm the king of schlock. I'm a big fan of cheese, and I really don't blame you at all. But I just wanted to relate how I was kind of surfing around looking for something to watch last night, and I found a 1957 film, Invasion of the Saucer Men. And I said, "Oh, I have not seen that in donkey's years. I'll just go sit down and take that in." And I was into it a half hour, and I said, "Okay, I can't do this. I'm sorry, it's not working." I'm a big Frank Gorshin fan. The movie was based on a very nice story, but it wasn't working for me. I had to turn away from it. Absolutely.
Well, sometimes you just go back to what you thought you liked, and it turns out it was complete and utter dog shit. Like, what was it? I used to like The American Rabbit. Do you remember that animated feature?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's not good.
Taste change as you get older.
Or you develop taste.
Yeah, some things that I couldn't understand or didn't appreciate back when I was very younger, I do now.
Yeah. Let's see. Also, Gilligan's Island, I guess.
Oh,
Like, it's Marianne and Ginger, and that's really the only appeal I have now. So.
did you know that there was a Gilligan's Island Nintendo game?
What? No. No. Nintendo Island. Wait, no. What am I doing? Gilligan's Island Nintendo game? Hold on. This. Oh, you. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. The fuck? The fuck is this shit? Let's go with just give me a quick video.
You would have to be a real fan.
I mean, it's Bondi.
Yeah.
There's the Skipper and Gilligan. Skipper, what do you? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyway, no, that's fine. Let's go back. We've gone too far. We have to go back.
Yes.
This is also. Oh wait, it was. They had a Blues Brothers Nintendo game, and it was reviewed. And I remember specifically in the review that the author was like, "I don't understand anything happening in this game as it relates to the movie. I forget. Are they trying to go to heaven? Because there was like a level called Stairway to Heaven that was basically them going upwards or something like that." And I'm like, how do you fuck up the license that much? It's just,
I mean,
you take the Blues Brothers and you make a platform game. That's it.
I mean, it wasn't the game at least having the Blues Brothers trying to escape Carrie Fisher's attempts at murdering them?
No, it reminds me of also our boy Harlan Ellison, where he didn't have much appreciation for video games, but also, he liked fucking around with the modern technology. His first experience was like asteroids and Pong.
Hello.
So he got nothing that had any real narrative hooks, and I kind of wonder like what would have happened if, time shifted a little bit. He was a bit forward, and he got to play a really good and well-written RPG. Or an action adventure that had really good narrative qualities, like the recent God of War, the first Last of Us, that sort of thing.
Mm.
But we'll leave that conjecture for later, because you're here for hot Star Trek commentary action.
That's right.
And today it's actually first episode of season 2, and it's going to be Amok Time. I've been waiting for this. And so we finally get to establish uh, Spock's Pon farr, and this is the only time it's brought up. So I was curious. So he had the Pon farr now. What did he do later on?
I
Like, did he
know.
just quietly go to Vulcan and have a wild, debaucherous night?
He just sent a quiet message to Nurse Chapel. Hey, Christine, I need some soup. Wink, wink, nod,
Yeah,
nod.
because I think Voyager, for all its faults, established that for a Vulcan, a holodeck just won't do. They're
Oh, I do. I think they do skim on the subject of Pon farr in the third season episode, "The Cloudminders."
well, we'll try and keep an eye out that for then.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for that. Then that's what I said. Okay, but yeah. So go ahead. Excuse me. Go ahead. Put us on pause, and get to your favorite physical media streaming service where you have this episode, and get to the 00 mark, and come back to us when you're ready. While I clear my throat. There we go. And welcome back. We'll go ahead and get the show started in 3, 2, 1, play.
Another peaceful day of running through space.
Mm-hmm. Wait, why was he climbing the ladder?
There's some sort
Almost
of
seems.
ladder that went down somewhere.
Well, I see
Well,
that.
yeah,
Yes,
but
I'm
yeah, I don't. I thought some place that there may not have been easy turbo lift access to.
But why would he go down there?
Oh, everyone,
He's the captain. He sends people down there.
clean out the bilges.
Uh-oh.
And it occurs to me we haven't seen Christina. Well, actually, yes, we did in the last episode. Her hair was a bit redder then, but now she's back to blonde. You are so busted, Christine. It's not even funny.
Okay, all right, all right. Also, why is Spock the only one that has a name tag on his door? Oh wait, no, they do.
They
in the
do,
background.
yeah.
Okay. But there shouldn't be any real reason why Nurse Chapel can't try and hit that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fairly certain most of the women on the ship were gunning for that.
Whoa.
Damn. Also, he's not an idiot. He knew this was coming.
Yeah, I kind of. Well, no, I think it'll establish later on this episode that he was hoping his human half would sort of dial us back.
This can't be, yeah, but this can't be his first Pon farr.
That's true. Or
So he's
maybe,
already aware.
or maybe it is. Maybe with Vulcans, you have to reach a certain age for the Pon farr to kick in.
No, we've already established in the Search for Spock that
Oh yeah, you're
puberty
right.
hits with all the freight train that puberty hits humans and Vulcans alike. Which, looking back, is a really creepy scene now. But
Yeah,
it's Star Trek. If anyone's allowed to be creepy, I guess it's kind of Star Trek. But
yeah. This is interesting because after all these other episodes of Nimoy having to play a particular character, here he has to make several steps away from the character. Well, I mean, there was also this side of Paradise, but this is much more extreme.
oh yeah, definitely.
A great name in science fiction.
I never heard of him.
He wanted to write more Star Trek episodes, but he has a notorious habit of being slow, and Roddenberry didn't want to continually babysit someone like that. Oh.
Okay. Kirk is kind of a okay. For one thing, Spock is acting weird.
Yeah.
But if someone was acting weird like that, and then they said, "Can I just have some time off?" That would be like, yes, please. And
Oh.
just explain to Kirk, like, look, among my, this is alien cultures. Among my people, we've repressed our emotions, and he's about to stab somebody.
I was gonna.
And
I just noticed that. Yeah.
like, listen, I just need to go and do my thing, or I'm going to get married.
And how many
Air quote.
how
Go
how
ahead.
many years have Vulcans and humans known each other? And I know that Spock will later on say that this is a very personal thing, but surely by now the Federation had, or the humans at least, had
Listen,
some inkling.
we have had female human ambassadors boning Sarek almost since the beginning. I am sure they would at least have let the Federation, or the Earth, know. Like, look, he's a very dispassionate man, quiet, cold, logical. I get very lonely, but then once every 7 years, oh my
Kapow!
God! And then I'll just happily wait 7 more years. Like, you don't understand. So it's another issue that could have been solved with, I mean, not really better writing. It's the plot for plot's convenience. I can't tell you this really simple thing.
Yeah. I mean, how many episodes have we had where everything could have been wrapped up if someone just spilled the beans within the first 10 minutes of the episode?
Hmm. I was about to say, wouldn't it be weird if it's like when you get a group of women together? I mean, theoretically, their menstrual cycles will sync. What if you get a ship of Vulcans together? Will their pon farr sync, and that makes deep space exploration really weird? But hey, check off.
Yeah. Apparently, Starfleet has decided to retire its lanky motherfucker
Lanky
navigator
motherfuckers.
program.
Everyone, let's have a moment of silence for the lanky motherfuckers. Past, present, the ones still on the casting couch, doing unspeakable things just to be lanky motherfucker number 9. But nope. Although I am amused that sitting on this bridge is one of the most evil motherfuckers ever to have existed.
In Babylon 5.
In Babylon 5, yes. But, I mean, like, I was of that age where I understood actors were in other shows and all that crap.
Gasp.
And that, yeah, shut up. And, but I could never really get over, you know, I didn't like, what, Magnum P? No, not Magnum P. Whatever cop show he was in later.
Oh,
Uh,
TJ Hooker.
TJ Hooker. Leonard Nimoy's, Strange But True Tales show or something like that. That was just Spock doing Strange But True or whatever the fuck that show was. And then I had Mr. Bester come in, and it was like watching one of your heroes just, you found out he was Jack the Ripper
Yeah.
with a smile. You know, glorious. But who's wait, who's taking over that position? Wasn't that important?
Well, it sort of becomes eventually established that Spock and maybe even Kirk were grooming Chekhov to be Spock's protege.
Oh, there's a thought. Yeah, that actually does make sense because I was watching a bit of Star Trek 3, and he was the acting science officer. So yeah, okay. And I call
Apparently,
bullshit.
yeah, really. What if he ordered Spock to explain?
So if Vulcans can't explain this, then we have some very dark implications of what happens to the Earth females who happen to go to Vulcan.
Oh, they sign up. I'm moving here.
No, I mean if the Vulcans can't explain it, then it just happens. Like,
The
oh my
first
god, that's a Harlequin romance.
the first time Sarek had to explain it to Amanda, and he says, "Amanda, honey, tonight's going to be sort of
Well,
different."
what I'm saying is what Spock is suggesting is that Sarek did not explain it until after it happened.
Yeah, there's a story that needs to be written, and I imagine it
Oh,
has.
I'm fairly certain there are many versions with slash and self inserts.
Oh no, you won't.
Spock.
Oh, nice smash across the net there. What a whiny baby.
Whee! Now we're going back to the. Also, I find it amusing that with the general trend of accents fading, the more media becomes universal, that we still have a very blatant Russian accent by this point in the future.
Well, I think if I recall the story correctly, Roddenberry had been visited by had the opportunity to meet with some Russian officials, and they suggested, you must have Russian official on Enterprise. And so Roddenberry shrugged and says, okay, we'll get a Russian person, but he's going to be, you know, uh, fanatically Russian, just like Worf is fanatically Klingon.
See, that's the story I heard was that he saw a newspaper clipping of the show in Russia saying, arrogant the Americans, we were the first in space, and they don't even have a Russian on their space show. So, but I think your idea makes more sense because how would Russian be aware of American TV to the point where they would mention it in their news media? You know.
True. We have ways of making him talk. To get their German crew
Dun dun
person
dun.
to.
Yeah. Rob
Oh,
Luca. But wait, so is that the last picture he has of her?
the most recent, yeah. Or
Most recent. Jesus
about
Christ.
the only one. He's put it back in the back of his mind and says, yeah, I know I've been pledged to be married, but, who cares? I'm a Vulcan. I'm going into
But
Starfleet.
could we get no? What I'm saying, could we just get a more recent picture?
Why? Is it just sort of tickling the bad parts of your head?
It's yes. It's like it's kind of creepy.
And can you put that letter opener, whatever you have in your hand, down?
Yeah. I seen pictures of my wife at that age, and she's cute and adorable with that smile that says "fuck you all and die," and I love it. Uh,
Yeah, I saw your mama very young and in pigtails and stuff. How cute. But,
yeah.
yeah. Well, here we go with the big reveal.
But we have a ritual for it, which involves fighting in an arena. Like bullshit, bullshit.
Well, that part of the ritual, as we'll find out later on, didn't get involved until T'Pring pulled her little stunt. I mean, I imagine the ceremony would usually go, do you Dupree take this man as your wife? And she says, logically, I do. And would then ask, Spock, do you take this woman to be your wife? And he goes, foaming at the mouth and all that.
Oh, Lord. We really are having the birds and the bees talk here.
Really? Oh, come on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Are we going to just dance around this?
Lord.
Then again, this did cause problems in West Germany. Apparently, this sort of talk this sort of talk was disturbing for the people running a major West German TV network, and they redubbed and sort of re-edited the episode. That what we're getting here is really Spock having hallucinations. It wasn't until 1996 that people in Germany who hadn't seen the original episode finally got to see the unedited episode.
Really?
Yes.
Damn. It doesn't...
Yeah. Snort.
Womp womp. This is so weird. Okay, so if Star Trek was supposed to be subversive meta-commentary on issues of the day, what is the commentary that they're trying to expound on in this one? Sexual repression, maybe?
I don't really see it as... I mean, not all of the episodes had some sort of underlying commentary they wanted to get apart. This is just giving us a little bit more background into Vulcans in general and Spock in particular.
So it's a fluff episode.
By throwing us a curveball. I mean, I can't imagine Vulcans dating... There would be some alien species who would have mating practices different from humans.
And Riker is going to keep fucking them until he finds out one.
I just had this sudden image of Riker in his off moments secretly rearranging the Enterprise's planetary visit schedule to his advantage.
Or waiting till Picard's off the bridge. It's like, okay,
we're
changing course.
Where was one of those rape colonies located?
No, because that was the one. Okay, but that was the one cool thing about Riker's. Like, he was a sleazy, would fuck anything with a heartbeat kind of guys, but he always, like, he didn't he didn't grab the woman and do like, I'm Kirk and I will show you the ways of love on Earth and like kiss the girl. It was always consensual, I guess.
Yeah, there wasn't that much fondling, so to speak, in the Next Generation.
Yeah, they probably did that on purpose, to be honest.
Yeah.
Trying to make Riker a ladies' man, and yet I don't recall, any of my my lady friends, my friends of the persuasion who may or may not be women, be like, oh man, Riker, oh yes, fan self, It was always it was Data and Worf.
Yeah, you're right. I never heard Riker being spoken of in that sort of term as Spock or Data or Riker. And
actually, here's a
go ahead.
Here's a call to action for our lovely listeners.
Oh God.
Of any persuasion. No, of any persuasion. If you could just give us the most attractive, in your opinion, cast member of each, or character of each of the series from original series. Let's go all the way up to DS9 so it doesn't get crazy. Go ahead, just send us an email. Let us know what you think. And send it to lostpodcastoftitan@gmail.com. For me, in the original series, it would have to be the female android from What Are Little Girls Made Of, to be honest.
Ah, you've mentioned her on occasion.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the hair, I guess, but Jesus Christ. Save me, please. Or then again, I haven't seen Taching lately, so.
That's what the fan fiction, I think, calls her. Cha-ching.
Taching! Oh my god. If I ever make a Vulcan character in a roleplay game or whatever, I'm going to name them Taching. You know what? If I also make a Klingon, I'll name them Kakash from the House of Cha-ching.
Oh, Lord.
Oh god. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Seriously, you're going to...
Wait, she broke into his quarters.
Well, in the original series, that's one thing I learned. Apparently, people can just walk into anybody's quarters at any time. Or maybe...
On top of that, he sleeps with his clothes on.
Yeah, it's true. Nobody goes commando in that series.
Not even the ones you would expect to go commando.
Or maybe because she's medical personnel, she has automatic access to
Okay,
everyone's
as
room.
someone who tried to get into the medical industry, if someone had medical training to be granted medical access and they just walked into the room of someone because, quote unquote, they were concerned and it's very obvious that they were hot for them, that would be a fireable offense so fast.
Well, maybe they're not revealing that they're hot for the particular person in a particular room. It's just, I would, oh God, I can't believe I'm thinking this. If I was a nurse or something like that, and I had developed an interest for a patient, I certainly would do my best to suppress any visible manifestation.
Damn, I was trying to think of who I liked in the Next Generation. It's just like I'm realizing there are much fewer
Females.
living characters among the series that available. Like, I'm not really interested in Deanna Troi, with all love and respect to the actress. And same with Beverly Crusher. Just neither Tasha Yar either.
If you had to nail me down to answer, I would go with 7 of 9 from Voyager.
Oh, across all the series?
Yeah. Huh. So they acknowledge friendship on Vulcan.
Well, okay, they probably qualify it as the logical community directed in mutual interests. That's what they probably just describe as friendship. Sorry.
Okay.
Vulcan Space Central.
So they already knew that Spock was going to have to show up sooner or later.
Mm-hmm. Behold, touching.
Boom! Shakalaka!
You must face the wrath of our queen. Boom! Shakalaka. Boom! Shakalaka. Boom!
So many missed opportunities.
Uh,
I mean, if we're going to remaster episodes, let's experiment with the dialogue a bit.
oh, to Pring. Okay, all right. fuck is the light coming from? Where is there pink light on the bridge?
A special uh, a special situation for communications like this.
Oh, here's a thought that okay. So I had this thought with transporters, and this is a really nice shot. Fuck, holy shit! But back to what I was thinking. So okay, the transporter pad on the ships, right?
Right.
They are flat, but the ground, the planetary ground that they are beamed down to is not. So how do they deal with the fact that when they land, like, is it commonplace for when you actually beam in, you are dropped maybe a centimeter or so, just so that you're not transporting into the ground, you know? Am I
Uh,
making any sense?
I see what you're saying. It reminds me of a story about
Mm.
time travel where someone is being sent back to colonial periods in America, but because they didn't accurately calculate the position of the Earth, the guy materializes like 30 meters above the ground and breaks his hip.
Oh yeah. Yeah, actually, I've had that thought before where, yeah, sure, you can travel through time, but you can't travel through space at the same moment. So you end up basically, like the first time traveler travels into the future or into the past, and they end up in the vacuum of space, you know?
Yeah, a short story that could have been written by you.
By C.M. Bastard or something like that.
I think that would be kind of obvious as a pseudonym.
Only if I was more well known. If I break onto the scene as C.M. Bastard.
It's a pity we can't see the picture of Spock that T'Pring would have had.
Oh yeah, you think? Okay, yeah, good call.
Interesting set. I mean, that must have been pretty expensive to construct.
I don't think so, because the more I have a fascination sometimes with how things are set up. It's a There's a whole science and industry behind just getting some like styrofoam and shaping it, and then you can plaster whatever you need onto it with a quick paint job, and you can get it to look like almost anything.
Okay. T'Pau is played by Celia Lovsky, who was once married to Peter Lorre. She also
Oh,
she also makes an appearance in Soylent Green, and
I
she
heard all that was people though.
no, but I love what Lovsky does with the Vulcan accent and such. Now she couldn't do the salute or make her hand into the salute the way you were supposed to. She had to have her fingers positioned, and so she kept in her lap until time to raise them. And here I
She
keep
might have been doing using the wrong hand, but
true. And here I keep getting the impression that she considers Spock her favorite nephew. I love that
yes.
accent. Must have been an easy job for her. I mean, she gets carried into the set and she gets carried off of the set.
Wouldn't it be more logical to beam her wherever she needed to be?
Well, they may have all beamed over to that particular spot. may come to that.
Oh dear. Yep. Yep. Also, so I mean, planetary populations being what they are, there's always going to be people who, don't find their mate or can't get assigned their mate. So what do they do?
Go off into the desert and just lose their minds. But that's a good question.
Yeah. Dun dun dun.
No one looks surprised, but I guess that's just Vulcans being Vulcans.
Dun dun dun. Well, shit.
So Vulcans had a need for executioners.
Apparently.
D'Pring is played by Arlene Martell, who was the female cast member of the Outer Limits episode Demon with a Glass Hand, written by our main man Harlan Ellison.
The main man. And I've had some bad cases of blue balls, but goddamn.
Okay, you really don't think that's just a bit TMI there?
What? What? Look at the episode we're watching. Okay. This is the blue ball episode of Star Trek. I'm putting this in the goddamn episode description, so help me God.
What? Do we describe this as Star Trek's Blue Balls episode?
Yes, because like the whole idea is that Vulcans have blue balls for 7 years, and then behold.
Okay, I think we can stop at the bells.
Dun, dun, dun. It's traditions. It's been this way unchanged since the beginning. Didn't you pay attention?
Okay. The guy in the background is Lawrence Montaigne, who we first saw as a Romulan in the Balance of Terror episode.
Yeah, I recognize him. Which goes back to my theory that they're spies. They're motherfucking spies. He's a Romulan. He managed to escape.
I don't think so. The ship was blown up.
That's what they want you to... He's a Romulan's papa.
Oh, and now she actually looked surprised.
Damn.
So here...
So he was... Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to let you go ahead.
So he was kind of on the up and up. He and her had the relationship. He wanted to consummate it, whatever. And he was willing to fight Spock for it, but she was being underhanded. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is where we get our first inkling that Vulcan is a matriarchal society. I mean, with
Well, I mean, it's only logical.
Yeah, as well as an admission of universal truth.
It's just things are just say yes. Just stop arguing.
That's right.
Key to the happy marriage.
Yes, dear. Well, cause when you take into account Pon farr and everything, the women on Vulcan must be more in control than the men. In fact, I'm surprised they allow males off the planet to serve as ambassadors and whatever.
Well, if they have it down to the science where, with all the conditioning and training, that it is in 7 years and they're supposed to come back, check in, air quotes, which means that they really fucked up with Spock. Like, it should not have been his choice. It should have been probably, we, we, we respect and are pleased and honored that you go to Starfleet to serve our race, etc., etc. You will come back in 6.5 years. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, Sarek is at the Federation Council and stuff. He's getting ready to handle a great big discussion. All of a sudden, he has to go before the president and says, excuse me, I got to go back to Vulcan for maybe a month, just bounce. Yeah. I'll be back. No worries.
Like, I can't meet with the Klingon ambassador Cha-Ching from the House of Cash. I got to go back to Vulcan.
Maybe meet with.
This is why I should be writing on the goddamn show here.
I know.
Dun 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 dun.
So he's a purple belt and blue balls right now, I guess.
Oh, it's gotten so bad it's gone from blue to purple. He should really have that looked at by a doctor.
If it lasts longer than 7 years, consult a physician.
Oh, consult a doctor. Yeah, that always concerned me when I see those commercials. I'm like, really?
And the women go, really? Oh. Listen to the doctor.
On top of that, what if... Oh, I guess it is to the death. Never mind.
Yes.
It's like, what if Kirk plays dead? Then the episode's then the series is over. we now follow the adventures of the SS Cynical Bastard.
Yes, but they don't know at this point that combat is to the death. So you would think that instead of get a slap on the wrist for disregarding orders and going to Altair, Starfleet or the Federation would consider, wow, this guy is actually negotiating more or less with the POW. This could, prove to be more advantageous than anything going on Altair.
Exactly, yeah. Although I don't think he'll get reprimanded if he goes back to Starfleet and be like, look, have you seen the balls on this guy and how blue they were? I like to live.
Kirk goes back and says, have I got a story for you? The helmets the guards are wearing are recycled over from Balance of Terror.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yes. See, which goes to my theory.
Yeah, I knew I was opening
Once more
the door for that one.
It's all a scam. It's all a trick. What? Oh, shit. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I have a brilliant idea. What if the Romulans and the Vulcans aren't really separate, as in, they broke off, blah, blah, blah. What if they made a pact? They're like, look, we are clearly the big boys on the block. So what we're going to do is we're going to meet the new races first as the Vulcans, and we'll get a feel for them. We'll try and make sure they're not warlike, whatever. And then you come in, you beat them around a little bit, and when the day comes that they finally realize that we're fucking with them, then they're ready to be treated as equals.
Yes, but all the conditions had not been listed. A decent Earth lawyer might have been able to get Kirk out of this, but...
Nope, ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law.
Oh. But your theory does sound attractive.
Yeah. Like it could be a good short story, and it doesn't have to be the Vulcans and the Romans. It could be someone else doing the same thing. Holy shit. And that's not Kirk. That's not Shatner. But that's not Nimoy either. What the fuck? I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see if I can pull up some obscure trivia while we're waiting for the sun to return. I'm going to have to go back and see if Shatner and Nimoy had the same stunt doubles throughout the series. Ooh. Careful.
Okay, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. That was someone just throwing something at the door.
Oh, it wasn't one of our fans looking for an autograph from you?
No, no, no. Also, I'm surprised Spock knows how to use that thing. I mean, I don't see him carrying that on the ship. I didn't see that in his room. Did he practice?
It's a very personal Vulcan thing.
Oh, of course.
Well, that's awfully decent of you, lady.
Yeah, well, I don't sense any kind of malice or
No, she's.
like.
I think she's the most in control person in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be funny if you have to explain to Starfleet that you rushed Spock the Vulcan to save his life and then ended up having to kill him.
Whatever. Wait, so now we have different. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You never seen this part before?
No, I've seen it. It's hard to imagine, really.
I would like to see a major battle between the Vulcans using the On Woon. That would have been an interesting fight.
Kind of like I guess a prequel series, but a real prequel series where.
Really?
But then again, it wouldn't be Vulcans. It would be the race before they split, I guess.
Someone wrote a very well-received a series of fan fiction stories called Hadla of Iron Mountain, which took place in primitive Vulcan. If anyone wants to contact me at lostpodcastoftitan@gmail.com and remind me of the author's name, that would be nice.
Or you could just Google it.
That would be no fun. I want to get our listeners involved.
What's your favorite slash fiction of Star Trek? Let us know at lostpodcast@gmail.com.
Now I wonder what would have happened if both had survived the On Woon. What were they going to come up with next? Yeah, we've noticed.
Dun dun dun.
Notice how we refrain from going any further. So we weren't going to continue on to Altair and hold the ceremony.
And also, like, he's just giving up being laid. Like, I don't think this actually solves the Ponfar problem, does it?
Well, once he's over the great big emotional hump, yeah, it kind of burns itself out. Although he might want to, putting this as delicately as possible, change his trousers when he gets back to the ship.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I can also kind of see her point. She didn't sign up for this shit.
No, certainly not at that age. I wonder what Spock's mother thought of all this. I mean, we'll later on learn that she, thinks the Vulcan way is better, but surely this had to give her some pause to really think.
Mm-hmm. God, holy shit! Ooh.
Well, actually, he has a point there.
It's true, yes, but that's some ice shade to him, who is not at fault for any of this.
Yeah. Stop with the bells.
Is that the same actress who was in the motion picture?
No, you're thinking of in the first picture, the Kolinar scene. Completely different.
That's right. Yep.
Completely different actress, although another respected.
Was she playing T'Pau, or was it someone else?
No, she wasn't playing the palace. She was in charge of the temple, the Kolinar
The
instruction.
Kolinar. Yes.
She's like Master Po in the Kung Fu series.
Also, I'm fairly certain T'Pau would have checked in later, maybe apologized to the Federation for killing their captain, and they're like, "What do you mean? He's alive."
And she
But
goes,
I don't think.
that bastard. But that raises a good point. Yeah, she had to still believe that Kirk had actually died.
Or maybe she will just logically, it's not beneficial to pursue the line of inquiry. So
She's exonerating
she simply
Spock.
says to her, exonerating Spock, not pursuing it any further. She saw Captain Kirk die on the field. If he was resuscitated on the ship, that's the only logical explanation.
I kind of now wonder, how does this affect the resolution of the marriage problem? Since there was no real resolution to the fight.
No, there wasn't. He was dead, or at least, yeah. See, okay, all right, hold on. There's a lot of subtext right there.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, they tried to get away with this in the '60s.
And except for
Like-
that West German station, they managed
like-
it.
Cletus and McYokel didn't go. Wait a minute. Is that they're implying what I think it's implying?
You're right, Bubba. We got to move ourselves to Vulcan.
Oh,
Is that a lizard on the wall behind McCoy?
oh my God.
I keep waiting for it to move.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Like, I wonder, is it supposed to be a prop where they have a pet there, or is it just? Uh,
I really, yeah, I mean, I keep waiting for it to do something.
dun, 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 dun.
Well, I get,
So yeah, that just provided a lot of subtext for Ahem, Spock, and Kirk. But what do you think?
oh, I'm giving this an A plus. I'd feel kind of like a boomer if I didn't.
No, I give it a solid A. It's
Yeah.
just it's looking at it now through the eyes of maturity. There are lots of little things that I'm picking up on that are kind of creepy and weird that probably wouldn't fly these days, and I'm surprised flew back then. But
Oh, I think it would fly in these days, just differently. There were you have well that romance and attraction are really different. By the time we
mhm,
get to the next generation, and by the time we got to in the original series, where passion, which was much more exemplified, if that makes any
mhm.
sense. I mean, you have that one episode in the next generation where Wesley falls in love with this alien princess, and
Well, who doesn't really?
well, that's true. I mean, but sometimes I wonder if that character, who I guess we'll be eventually getting to, what if she had taken on a less attractive human form?
Oh, it's I think this has actually been a theme in several sci-fi series and stories where it's the alien that projects itself to become the most beautiful thing you can think of, and it's actually this horrific monstrosity. It was even brought up in Mass Effect, where there's this little bit of throwaway dialogue that you might not even get to, but just the very short version in the Mass Effect universe. There's these aliens called the Asari, who are all female, and they have very different stages of their life. And one of their stages is they will go out and mate with people who they feel like drawn to, but all the alien races perceive them as looking a little bit more like their race than anyone else. Like, and you have these giant warrior turtles, uh, these elephant-looking motherfuckers, these lizard-looking motherfuckers, and they all say, "No, the Asari look a little more like us than anyone else." So you have to wonder, since your character is human, and they look more human to you than anyone else, what is it that they actually look like?
Yes.
And is it valid to be fucked, to have your mind fucked with that way? Like if they, uh, if oh, what am I trying to say? So if your mind is fucked to the point you don't see someone physically, and you develop the emotional connection, and the emotional connection is real and valid, is the physical deception still a lie? I guess is what I'm saying.
I, f- I think that there would be some races who feel, say, we want good relationships with the humans, and our original form, as far as they would perceive it, looks like some leftovers that have been left in the icebox for over a year. So let's try to smooth the waters by presenting a more pleasing experience.
Yeah, but then you might have the issues with the Vorlons for Babylon 5 where you become angelic deities.
That's true. I mean, myself, I preferred the Vorlons in their armored suits. But but we'll be touching upon this in season 3 of Star Trek in the episode "Is There in Truth No Beauty?", when they have to bring on the Medusan ambassador, and it's determined that the Medusans in their original form are so just off the wall that humans go insane by seeing them.
Yep.
And even Vulcans have to wear special eyewear in order to tolerate the visual form of them.
Hmm.
And they can't, make themselves look more pleasing to the human eye, but it is necessary or desirable to have relationships with this race because of their advanced technology in regards to navigation.
Mm.
So,
And this was our Vulcan Blue Ball episodes, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking about a season 3 episode, Medusan, and about Mass Effect lore and shit. It's one of the if there is a part where I have to be down on the episode, it's the idea that Vulcans at this point in time did not take a look at this and go, we can do better, even if they move from the giant rock in the middle of nowhere, because the entire population can't use this one fucking rock, It's insane.
but it's so ingrained in their biology. I mean, there are parts of human biology that I would want to tinker with.
None of it is you as salmon going upstream to procreate at the place of your birth.
It's so ingrained into their biology, though. Maybe it doesn't occur to them, because apparently their society has become accustomed to the Ponfar business. It's just they're now interacting with other societies, and it would cause some difficulties when they have to explain although I would think that Spock didn't have to constantly tiptoe around it. Vulcans, I feel, could have just come out up front and admitted what's going on, and the humans, for the most part, would go, interesting, okay, we'll just mark that down and go from there.
And we'll make a side trip to Vulcan. But they could have had the entire episode play out as it play out without having to go through the back and forth of the birds and the bees talk with Kirk and Spock, where he's tiptoeing around the real issue at hand.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if I want to play it for comic effect, but I just, thought it was interesting that even Kirk is reluctant to connect the dots out loud.
Exactly. And Spock, do you need to go to Vulcan to show them what the thing the Earth people call love? And yes, hard all night for several nights at least.
Well, not necessarily love. I just need to get my ashes hauled if I want to function as a Vulcan again.
My ashes hauled?
You've never...
What the fuck? I've never heard... No, I've never heard of this. I was born after the 1930s, okay?
When I was young and in my prime.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. But anyway, so that was the Buck Time, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. And next week, we will have a special treat. It'll be the part 2 of our Guilty Pleasure series, which
Yay!
Really, I think we had so much fun last time. We could probably continue on that vein, talking about our Guilty Pleasure movies.
Because we have seen a lot of movies.
You enjoy,
yeah.
We have, yes. And TV series. Maybe we should broaden it out once we run out of movies. We should talk about TV series as well. So yeah, that'll be our next episode. And I hope you all enjoyed this one, and we'll see you again next time.
Okay, behave.